Hello and welcome back to Jack Strack's contest. Today we're going to be entering Nick Rudow's push to 500 subscriber contest. I have 5 records that I'm going to show, all of which have covers of songs written before these artists covered them that I actually think are better than the original songs, and there's a lot of them, but I narrowed it down to 5, and here they are. Alright, the first one is Skid Row's cover of Little Wing. This is an absolutely fantastic cover. I like it a lot better than the Hendrix version. And the Hendrix version I like a lot. I think Nick also mentioned a cover of Little Wing, but there's been a lot of covers of them. I think it's probably like the most covered song, or maybe Yesterday by the Beatles, something like that. But this is Skid Row's cover EP. It's called B-Side Ourselves. It's got some Ramones, Rush, Judas Priest, Kiss, and of course Hendrix. This is a Rocktober edition on a nice silver vinyl there. It's a great album, and you can't find a lot of Skid Row on vinyl. At least last year you couldn't. Now they're doing a ton of reissues of the first album. But yeah, this one's a great one. This is B-Side Ourselves. Okay. Number 2 is off of this German compilation called The Beatles' Greatest, and the song is Twist and Shout. The Isley Brothers version is great, but obviously the Beatles really made this song really famous with Ferris Bueller's Day Off and all that stuff. This is just an incredible song, and I love the Beatles cover of it. And this, like I said, is a German pressing. It's only exclusive to Germany, and it's called The Beatles' Greatest. Definitely a cool compilation. Sounds pretty good too. So there we go. Okay, and again, all of these covers I like better than the original. Okay, number 3 is Cheap Trick's Don't Be Cruel. The original I'm not as crazy about. I don't like a lot of that early 50s rock and roll, and I know that's kind of, you know, you can't like say it, sacrilegious to say it, but yeah, I'm not like a huge fan of it, but Cheap Trick did a really good job with this cover, and this is off of Lap of Luxury, which is their comeback album because Tom Peterson joined them back on the bass, and that's where they really picked up, because they were doing not the greatest for a while with like 3 albums, Standing on the Edge, The Doctor, and like all that stuff. They weren't doing well, and they came back with this, which had the hit song The Flame, and this is a great album. So Don't Be Cruel off of that album. This is another covers EP. This is Rush Feedback. This is getting harder and harder to find. These Rush reissues from Anthem, I believe, are impossible to find. This is the only one that's like not crazy expensive. But yeah, this is definitely a very cool release. And the cover on here that I like the best is Crossroads. They do a killer version of Crossroads on here. And if I were to listen to any version of Crossroads, it would definitely be the Rush 2004 version of it on their EP Feedback. Okay, and finally, my favorite cover of all time. This is my favorite cover ever done. One of my favorite songs, but I love the cover so much. It's Mayor Hawthorne's Work to Do. Now, this is an incredible, I believe the original is by the Isley Brothers again. Maybe it wasn't I think it was by the Isley Brothers, though, and the same with Twist and Shout. But Mayor Hawthorne went in there and just totally transformed it. And this cut on the album Impressions is just incredible. I've been wanting to get a vinyl release of this for a very long time, and luckily they did one for Record Store Day not too long ago. I believe in July of the Record Store Day dropped, so the latest Record Store Day they did this release, and I absolutely love it. Yeah, Work to Do, an absolutely fantastic song, and the covers on here are fantastic. Mr. Blue Sky, You Hear the Makings of a Love, just such great songs on here, but my favorite has to be Work to Do. So, my favorite cover of all time, Work to Do, Rush Crossroads, great version of the Cream classic. Don't Be Cruel, originally done by either Elvis or Fats Domino. One of those. Sorry, I don't know that. The Beatles, Twist and Shout, one of the greatest covers of all time, originally done by the Isley Brothers. And finally, Skid Row's Little Wing, originally done by the legend himself, Mr. Jimi Hendrix. So there we go. That is my entry into Nick Rudow's contest. As always, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Jack's Tracks Records Contests.